So hi, welcome to End Credit Reviews, and this is something that we're going to do right now that's very new, where we are going to debate on which thing is better. Now with this one, our first one, we've been trying to talk about this one for a long time now, but we are debating on which Hulk movie is better. The 2003 Hulk movie with Eric Bana, or the 2008 kind of reboot with Edward Norton. I myself are going to advocate that the Hulk movie from 2003 is better, and Steven.
I'm definitely going to be advocating over both that and the Avengers that the Incredible Hulk's Hulk is the best that we've seen on screen.
Okay, but we're just going to include just these two Hulks in that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying for intensive purposes, that one too.
Yeah, but we can't approach tradition here because this is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
Yes, and pretty much how it's going to work is that we're going to pretty much do an open debate for about a minute, and then we're going to cut it off by that point in time. So first, we're going to kind of debate on who was the better Bruce Banner, Eric Bana or Edward Norton. Personally, I'm going to go first by saying that I kind of prefer Eric Bana's version because of the fact that he kind of came off more as a scientist, and also I felt more like his pain and what he was going through. With Edward Norton, he's a really good actor. I just felt like he wasn't really convincing as a scientist.
Oh, yeah, no, I absolutely can see where you're coming from with that. I would agree that Eric Bana definitely comes across better as a scientist, and also for that matter, with the first Ang Lee Hulk being the first one, that made sense and was one of the positive things about it as an origin story. But I would still say that Edward Norton's version of Hulk is best because it displays the best control and his basically use of his environment to his advantage.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Alright, so our next debate, we're going to debate upon the supporting cast. Alright, so Jennifer Connelly versus Liv Tyler. I'll let you go first this time, Steven.
Well, Liv Tyler, she didn't strike me too well either way. I will say that the purple pants scene at,
yeah,
at a certain
that.
point, pretty much, I probably about halfway through, that was pretty funny. But honestly, in this category, I think Liv or Jennifer is kind of interchangeable. So.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, personally, I feel like Liv Tyler is a beautiful and talented actress, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like in this movie it was just kind of basic. With Jennifer Connelly, I feel like not only is she a lot more attractive, but also I think like I feel like she's a lot more of more talented than Liv Tyler. I felt like there was more of a sense of pain and also like seeing this tragedy and that sort of thing. But I guess some people would joke that, yeah, I mean, Jennifer Connelly on screen was making me Hulk out in my pants.
Yeah, both of them for that matter for me.
Yeah, I prefer Jennifer Connelly. Okay. Again, perfect. Okay. So continue on to the supporting cast. I forget the name of these actors. Who played the better General Ross? I'll go first this time. Personally, I prefer the one from the 2003 Hulk movie because he has a really cool voice, and I felt like he had more of a presence on screen. While the General Ross from the Incredible Hulk, I don't know, I just felt like sometimes he was kind of phoning it in. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel that the general from The Incredible Hulk seemed more in line with being backstabbing towards both Bruce and his daughter, which was good and effective in his character. And I also thought that some of the experiments that were used to try to capture the Hulk that, were utilized in creating Abomination, for example, they were more on point for his character.
Okay. Alright, so I'm trying to think if there was anyone else in the supporting cast to talk about. Oh yeah, we should talk about the villains of the movie. Okay, so we had the villain who was Bruce Banner, sorry, not Bruce Wayne, different
Right.
comic book hero. His father in the 2003 Hulk movie, or played by Nick Nolte, versus Tim Roth as the villain in the Incredible Hulk. All right, so personally, I kind of prefer Nick Nolte's Hulk because he had more of a personal connection to the character of the Hulk. In fact, what's interesting in the comics, it was said that the Hulk's like the origin of his power and his anger was from child abuse and such, and I felt like that was more of an interesting connection. I know Abomination is more of an iconic villain and more well known, but I just felt like he had more of a personal connection to him.
Yeah, I think that's fair to state that there was definitely more of a personal connection, obviously because of the father and the son. But I disagree. I think Abomination was a more physically menacing overall presence. Fighting his dad was kind of like fighting a weird elemental ghost in the movie. And
I get you. It was interesting.
It was interesting, but it was kind of just all over the place and weird. So I don't know.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right, we're making pretty good time here for our first episode. Okay, so now let's talk about our Hulks. Who is better? At least Hulk-wise. I'll let you go first, Steven.
This category, I don't think there's any contest. I think in terms of both, I'll just state the Avengers and this, the first Hulk with Ang Lee. I like how he looks. There's a lot more dark shots and scenery in this, although I will say there are a couple shots in the Incredible Hulk that I do think are a bit dated. But in terms of his look, his use of environment, and his just ruthlessness, I think that the Hulk in the Incredible Hulk is clearly the best that we've seen.
I mean, I really do thought it was interesting in the Incredible Hulk, but I really like about this Hulk is that I like how in this movie he actually gets bigger and stronger when he gets to the matter he gets, so he's like more physically imposing. I like how it shows how he kind of heals as well, which makes it even more imposing and threatening. That's just my opinion on it.
Sure.
All right, so finally, we should talk about when it came to the action in this movie in regards to special effects. I'll go first, since it's my turn. We're switching turns on that. Okay. Personally, I feel like the action in the Hulk was better. At least when it came to the fight scenes, there was more of an impact. Because remember when he was fighting those big dogs and that? Every time those dogs got hit, it felt painful. And I thought it was really cool when he was like fighting those tanks and he like threw one of them and he grabbed one of the barrels and he like hit it like it was a baseball bat, like a crowbar, and that sort of thing. When the Incredible Hulk, I just felt like half the time I was watching a CGI cutscene to a video game, and I just didn't really feel much of the impact and the power like I did in Hulk.
See, and I felt exactly the opposite. I felt there were a couple of moments that were cool in the original Hulk, and even some of the military stuff, it was just kind of glancing and not that lasting. Meanwhile, the stuff with, trapping him in a sound bubble, fighting the helicopter, fighting Abomination, all of that was very cool and appropriate for the Hulk as a character.
Okay, we're doing perfect timing here. Okay. All right, so next we'll talk about directing with, I forget the guy who directed The Incredible Hulk, but I'll let you go first on when it came to directing. Who was, at least when it came to directing and cinematography and the technical stuff?
Well, I definitely, again, still overall say that The Incredible Hulk was better. Even for Marvel in terms of its use of day and night scenery, its score in terms of almost a Frankenstein-esque feel in terms of its spiking sound when the Hulk appears. Those were very effective. And overall, it was just an effective film. It wasn't the best thing ever, but it was very strong for a Hulk film, and I was really hoping to see more of it.
I mean, there was interesting day and night stuff in the first Hulk movie, especially when he was fighting the dogs and that. But I will say that, yeah, I mean, the whole, thing of the comic book stuff, frame stuff, was a bit annoying and such. But at one point in The Incredible Hulk, the part where we see Abomination looked like the Discount Cloverfield with the camera work. And, yeah, this is the guy who would later go on to direct the awful Clash of the Titans remake. Okay, now here comes the part where we kind of shake hands in a way. Well, myself will admit something I liked more about, I think was better about The Incredible Hulk. And then Steven will admit something that he thought was better that Hulk was better than the Incredible Hulk on. Okay, personally, I feel like the Incredible Hulk, at least one thing it got better was that I felt like it was a better paced movie. I know Hulk hulked out more in the first film, and also I felt like I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say about it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the Incredible Hulk film was paced better, I would say. While Hulk, I mean, it was a little bit slow. It could have been done better. But then again, Ang Lee's previous film was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So it wasn't like, was it Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Dragons, or whatever?
No, you got it right.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a big action film. All right, so that's what I will say about it.
I got you. Yeah, I definitely have several problems with the first Hulk movie, as is pretty clear. But one thing I will say about it that is clearly, from both of our standpoints, a better aspect than in The Incredible Hulk was it served as a better origin story. It served better as a understanding the character and his past and his connection to the woman that he loves much better than The Incredible Hulk did. The Incredible Hulk was kind of just a continuation of him on the run and returning for a chance to maybe be cured, but ultimately to no avail.
I mean, yeah, I mean, some would argue that The Incredible Hulk is kind of a sequel to the first Hulk movie, because the end of Hulk, he's in South America, and The Incredible Hulk, he's in South America.
Right.
Yeah, I just felt like it was kind of iffy in The Incredible Hulk that his, hulked out by his heart rate, so you tell me if he jogs, he can hulk out?
Sure, yeah, that is something that I think could use some addressing. But even in the comics, I recall there were some...
I thought it was just anger, but...
No, I think there were some weird things with,
Okay.
heart rate and stuff. And that was even why sex even came into play with the Hulk character.
Which was like, oh, man!
No smashing of that kind, I'm afraid.
Good one, Steven. Yeah, I mean, I just felt like it was better with just anger because I was more like the classical character. I mean, the part where he's like hulking, like he's turning back to Bruce Banner when he saw Betty. I just want to wait to a point like, oh yeah, I'm no longer the Hulk, and he looks down like, oh, something else hulked out.
Yeah, something else is green this time.
Yeah, let me introduce you to my Jolly Green Giant.
No.
Yeah, it's healthy. Eat your green beans.
Eat your vegetables or you're going to be a vegetable by the time this is over.
I think we can both agree that these movies are better than the Thor and Iron Man sequels.
Yeah, overall. I will say I do like Iron Man 2 quite a bit.
Okay, that's fine.
But definitely Thor. Thor is a thorn in my side.
Yeah, I remember watching the second Avengers movie during that like nightmare scene that Tony Stark was having, and you saw like looked like Thor was dead, and you were just like clapping.
I was. People were mad, and I'm like, I don't care. This is heaven.
Okay, so this is Tyler from End Critter Reviews,
and Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
and we hope you enjoyed this episode of, I don't know what's gonna be called, but
Beat down something. I don't know.
I don't know, but anyway, we hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope to make more in the future. Please like and subscribe.